and Facebook, and today I'm just going to talk to you about lighting. Just some of the basic tips that you can use to get you started with lighting for video. Now, it's really important to get the lighting right so you can see your face, if that's what you're doing, your face or somebody you're talking to or interviewing, their face lit up, because nobody really wants to see, just a black shadow. You need to be able to see the emotions, the way people are talking. There's different situations where different video that you're recording yourself. So first off, lighting, natural lighting. Okay, so today's pretty good because although it's not the greatest weather, it is cloudy, but it's bright. And this really helps with your lighting. If you don't have any lighting tools with you, use the light you have. So natural light, just make sure that you position yourself correctly so that the natural light isn't behind you, but in front of you and shining towards you and lighting up you, because you're the subject of the video. So if it's not a cloudy, bright day, but a sunny day, and this has happened to me, you will have changing light situations. Now, that's okay if it's completely sunny and no clouds. You'll maybe just see shadows changing against your backdrop, which is okay if that's what you want. But if it's something that you're editing back and forth, it can be really jarring to the eye if you're editing a piece of video from the start to the end and swapping them round. That shadow is going to change behind you and will look really strange. So to avoid that, and it sounds really silly to do, close your curtains and turn on a light. And I'll go into what type of light would be best. But if it's really bright and there's clouds and shadows, close your curtains and turn on the light, because if that shadow is going across the front of the screen and it'll be across your face, the light and your camera, depending what you're using, which we talked about in a previous video, will not be able to cope quick enough to adjust the focus to your subject, your face. And quite often you can have your face lit up and black completely behind you, and then it can totally change again. It's really hard and looks really strange in a video. So if you can avoid that, do. Okay, so next would be the lighting that you have in the house. Now, I'm downstairs, I'm not in my study studio because, again, the situation we're working in the pandemic, my husband's upstairs working and I'm at the kitchen table. So the lights I have here are LED, really bright, downlighters. Great, that's fine. However, it will cast a shadow, and you can kind of see it here. And if I turn this light off, which is, you can really notice the light difference here. So it's not great. It's fine, pretty much okay. But if you want it to look more polished, try and get a light that is going to light your face. So a light that's sitting opposite me. And that's what I'm going to come on to next. I'm going to turn this wee light on just because it looks much better. It makes me look much brighter as well. Would be depending different parts of your face, but it's better than nothing. If it doesn't really matter, try not to look at it because now I can't see a thing. But it's better than nothing, and so it's lighting up my face better than if I had nothing, or if I had no I was going to say street lights, if I had no kitchen lights or whatever. So I'm going to turn that back around and try and refocus. The next one after your camera light are ring lights, and this is what I have. I have two of them here, and so I've just switched on my small desk light. So if I show you this, and this is a remote control one, and I can change the brightness of that to dim it. I can also change the heat of it, the warmth, so it can go from, that's quite a warm light, to quite a bright light, to quite a blue light. And so if I show you that lighting up my face, Just set this down. And again, if you see that, there's a wee hot shoe here. This is a wee bit freaky, that, depending which platform you're watching on. This you can attach a small lightweight camera to with a hot shoe, or even your phone, and quite often that's what people do. So because my phone is up there on a tripod, and I wanted to show you this, I haven't attached my phone, which I'm recording on, as well as my iPad. I haven't attached it, but that's one thing you can do. And this is adjustable as well. Now this was, I'm going to change it because it's much nicer to that. You can adjust that, as you can see. You can see how it changes the light. So that's going to shine up towards lighting my face from up here. It's not great with the double chin. To counteract any shadows that the light coming down is shining on me. This didn't cost too much. This was quite inexpensive, to be honest, and it's a great starter. This was about £13 and I had a voucher, so it was barely anything for me. And it's really, really portable as well, and it gives a really nice flattering light, so it's really easy to do. Now the next one is, and this is useful because, as I said, I'm recording this on my iPad because I'm waiting for my new webcam because it's a better picture, is if I wanted to continue recording videos or live using my iPad, I can use a larger ring light, and this is one that I also use more for events. So this is this one. This is from Near, and it's not on the tripod because the tripod's upstairs and it sits behind my computer. So if I'm doing interviews, I use this. Now it sits really well back, and this is kind of like a beauty light that you might see. I don't know if any of you would watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians. They use this kind of light. And there you can see how bright it is. If I turn this round, you can just about see, it lights up. Now, the tinge that is giving is because of the filter that I have on it. Oh, I'm getting tangled up in other lights I want to show you here. Is because of the filter I have on it. So this light comes with two different covers. So as you can see, the orange light gives that sort of softer light. Then if you take this off, you would have another cover, which you don't even have to have on, and these are really easy to get on and off. You'd have a white cover, so it gives a brighter light. So this would be more for beauty photography, portraits, that kind of thing. You can see how easy it goes on, and that's really portable as well. This is meant to emulate daylight without giving those shadows. So again, when I said you have again this small connection here where you can attach a hot shoe that or a mount that will attach your camera, your iPad, and it will fit really well in here. And I've used that for doing hi Vicky. I've used that for doing testimonials at events and whatever else, and this is really, really great, and it's considerably really portable, and so I like that as well. So I'm going to turn my desk light back on just because I'm right in. Another thing is, and it's not a light, but it's something that you can use to help with the lighting situation, is a reflector. So this is quite a small one, and it's portable, and when I remember how to fold it back up, it's a bit like a pop-up tent. I'll be able to put it back in the bag, but again, you have the silver and the gold. And you can see the difference that is going to make. And so that's just making use of any natural light or light that you have to brighten up areas that are maybe in a bit of shadow. So again, you don't even need to get one of these. You can even make your own home one with like shiny paper. You know, if it's only for a home video that you want to do, use the stuff you have to get you started before you go ahead and buy this kind of a thing. So next I want to talk to you about a light box. Now this is a kind of a more specialized one, and I have mine set up here, so bear with me while I try and turn the cameras around and turn it on. And a light box is for, say you are a fine artist and you can just see the lights come on there now. So say you were going to show a piece of jewelry, piece of art, pottery, something like that, or something that you want. It's quite small. And coming back on. Yep, back on. So yes, we're talking about a light box. And so this gives a really nice light. So I'm going to try and turn this around, and please bear with me. So there is, it would help if I turn this around and I can see what I'm doing. So this is my light box here. Let me turn this around, wrong way. There. My light box there. So you can see, because I haven't got my switching to different camera views, my light box there, and in it I have 2 wee mugs that I got for my anniversary, pottery anniversary, my last anniversary. But it shows them really well and lights them up really well. I'm going to turn this back round just because it's a bit awkward. You can see the state of my house with the kids. So let's turn you back around. There we go. Again, this would have been a lot easier if I was doing it in my studio, but again, it's upstairs. So yeah, a light box is one option, and again, it's quite inexpensive to make. You can get a box, cardboard box, drape it with a very well steamed iron bed sheet or something like that, and that would give you the same effect. I'm just going to turn that off. And so that's another option for displaying your products. Again, if you are maybe thinking of events, there are other types of lights that you can use that are quite inexpensive. I'll go into them in a minute. I just want to make a comment on some more professional lights, soft boxes, umbrella lights, LED lights. I have them. I'm not going to show them in this video. That'll be another video because they're quite big and need a bigger space to set up. And that would be used for a more professional setting or an interview, or say you were doing it, that was your proper job, but then you're going to know that yourself. These are something, again, LED lights, not too expensive, maybe about 90, 100 pounds on Amazon for some basic ones. The full kit, like umbrella lights, soft boxes, which soften the light. Again, for portrait lights, they are slightly more expensive than that, but they're not too difficult to get or even hire out. But again, that's another video. So different lights that you can use to bring a bit of interest to your video would be more sort of fun lights. And again, you can use these in your backdrop, or you can bring them in. And here's an example of one. Here's hoping they haven't wasted the batteries. I turn my, so if you see that, and then scram it's back to front, so that's an F. I have another one upstairs. And that can go in your backdrop. So say you were making a studio, something like that. If you say you were filming in your studio and you're darker light, but you just the spots unused, this kind of light will show up. And again, it's great for a setup at an event or whatever. Again, I have other fun lights that you can use. Now these are a wee bit more difficult to see just because I'm on a white backdrop. So I'm going to turn them on. Changing color lights. Again, these are very inexpensive. So I'm going to put, see? You can see the color. These go from blue to green to red. So say you were filming with a black backdrop. These will show up really well. And again, I can show that in the next video. What was that? Where I have my screen that I would maybe film up against. Can either have a white, green, or black backdrop. Oh, wait, that's just those. So they just give a wee bit more interest, change the color, and make it a bit more interesting. Again, those were bought in a kid's store, so not too expensive. Portable LED lights is another one that gives you a wee bit of interest. Something like this. These can be put anywhere. So you can have them as downlighters, you can have them as uplighters, you can have them spotlighters for if you want to make spooky videos or something like that. Just whatever you want. Again, it's just using what you have. These I use for camping as well, although these were meant to be painted and stuck on the kids' wall. I just haven't got around to doing that, but anyway. Or you can have them, again, sitting in there where you're diffusing the lights a bit more. So again, it's just getting a wee bit creative with some of the lights that you have. Turn them off. And then lastly, just because I wanted to, my last set of fun lights. Sounds so silly. Again, this could be something you can use outside if you're going to film outside, Or inside, again, if I had had my backdrop, but it's too big at the moment with everything else I have at the moment, I would have had these. So these are just string lights that you may have in your garden. These will give a bit of light at the back and a bit more interest again. So it's not about just lighting up you and what you're talking about. It's also creating interest so that whoever's watching is going to stay watching. But there's any number of ways that you can do this by whatever lights you have. Could it be a normal lamp, a standing lamp? It's just basically to make sure, turn that back on, that people can see you, because that's what they're tuning in for, is to hear you speak about whatever it is or display whatever it is. So the next video I want to talk about that I will do, and it's to do with your shadow. Create that bit of drama that, say, in a documentary type video, you'll maybe have somebody sitting in a darkened studio with the lights at the side, types of emotions or what the situation is. So it's whether you want those shadows or not, and then just playing. So again, I can still see my dark shadows under the eyes. Talking about the positioning of the light, there's different ways, whether you'll have a backlight, whether it's a backlight to light up from behind, or if it's a backlight pointing backwards, then you'll have a feature light maybe coming on the side, and then a spotlight or a beauty light directly on. So it's whether you need these, and again, it's playing around with those lighting. Or there's other lights that I want to talk about, like hair light, something that's pointing directly down towards your hair. It's not specifically for your hair, some videos it might be, but it's directly down onto down this way, as opposed to angled that way. It's hard to kind of show, but basically just play around with the positioning of the lights that you have to change the shadows that you have in your video. That is really what your lights are for. It's either to eliminate or to accentuate the shadows that you have and you want for your video. So if you have any questions about the lights that I have or I haven't mentioned, drop me a line, drop a comment, whatever, and I can go through those and give you links and direct you towards any of the stuff that I have or stuff that you could get. Because there was another one I wanted to get, was these Velcro under cabinet type lights. Because I'm thinking again about my live studio. These are something that are really easy to connect underneath the shelf or against a wall, that are very portable and usable. And again, it's about creating interest. So when you're making a video, think about what it's about, who it's for, what will create the interest to keep them watching, and what they need to see. Then think about the lights you have, how you can use them, and where to position them. And then if you need any more, ask for help, borrow, beg, steal. No, don't steal. Beg, borrow, hire, should I say. Or hire somebody to come in and do it for you. But that's my basic start with lighting, and hopefully I will be able to rearrange this space to do another video about different, more professional setup of type lighting, if that is something that people need to use. So hope you have a good Tuesday, and talk to you soon.